Welcome to today's event. To today's developers Then event brought to you by Developer Stories Africa. And today we are hosting Tabitha. Kavyu is a talent sourcer at TalentQL. She is also an organizer at DDG Nairobi and Open Source Community Africa Nairobi chapter. She is also an ambassador at Moringa School and a lead alumni at DSC UN. And I hope you are ready to hear about her journey in tech up to where she is now. And Henry, I think you can introduce yourself and take over.
Yeah, hello everyone. I wanted this opportunity to welcome you to the platform once again. It's really a pleasure to have you guys on Dev Stories Africa. Yeah, so my name is Henry Kariuki, and today I'll be co-leading with Theo. So today we are glad, let me say honored, to have one of those one of those speakers in the tech space with us in the house. So, without any much further ado, I would like to invite her as well to introduce herself before we begin. Yeah, before we begin. Welcome, Tabitha.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tabitha, like Henry has mentioned. I'm really glad to be here at Dev Stories to share my journey with you. I hope it will motivate you or inspire you at some point. Yes. Henry, do we start now or?
Yeah, thank you so much for that brief intro into today's session. I see your slides are already up. I can't be more excited and calm at the same time. So we can begin. Yes, it's your space. So take us through, take us home.
Well, I don't even have slides. I only have one slide. This is the only slide I have. Okay, there are two, but I don't. Okay. There's no problem. But thank you so much, Henry, for this opportunity. Henry is a good friend of mine, and I think it's very interesting that we are talking about our stories. And I just remembered how I like I mentioned before. I am okay. Did I mention before? Yeah, my name is Tabitha Kavyu. I think much has been said about me, but I will repeat. Yeah, I come from Mombasa, Kenya. Yeah, that's where I was born. But then I'm currently in Nairobi because I had to study in Nairobi. So we are those people from Mombasa that ended up in Nairobi. Yeah. And I think I'd like to start my story because I want to mention my friend Henry, like the father we've come from. Like I mentioned before, I'm coming from Mombasa. So obviously I went to primary school in Mombasa. I was in a private school before, and then I went to a public school. Yeah. And we were with Henry at that particular point. Yeah. And then I think we were talking about, what goals do you have when you go to university? Like we were still in primary school, but you're like, when you go to university, what do you think you want to do? Typically, I don't usually know what I want to do. Like I'm like, I don't even know. Like whatever comes will come. Like I felt like I was too young, so I didn't know. But Henry, with the goals and everything, so he was like, oh, I think I want to do computer science, stuff. And I was like, okay, what is computer science? He said, yeah, it's just a course about computer science. I'm like, oh, okay. And I think what Henry does not know is I think from that particular day that we had that conversation, that is how my journey or my destiny was already planned. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, okay. So Henry said he's going to do computer science. Yeah. Henry is like me. There's really not much difference from us. So I think when someone asks me what I want to do at the university, I will just say computer science. I didn't know anything about it. I just said that is what I'm going to do. And so when I went to high school in Kitui County, Modale Girls High School. That's where I did my high school 4 years. And I said, when we do those electives, I said, let me go and do computer. Yeah. Because I said, I remember we agreed with Henry that we are going to do computer science. So it's only ideal for me to do computer in high school. Yeah. I don't want to do, agriculture. What are those now? Okay, they are good, but not for me now. They could not work for me. Yeah. So that's how I think my journey pretty started because when I finished high school, yeah, I did well in my computer studies. So the university part came, yeah. And then remember, I chose, like, when we're choosing our courses, I wrote computer, like everything that had computer. I didn't really know much. I was still trying to figure things out. So I said any course that has computer, there's computer engineering, computer what, that's what I'm going to choose, yeah. Then somehow I'll land in any, as long as I know I did computer in high school. So I'll just do any computer related course. Yeah. And so computer science was one of them. And then my mom, my mom was like, "Oh, I think there's this myth that goes around that people think computer science is IT, yeah, and they feel like everybody is doing IT. They feel like everybody knows IT. Everyone wants to know IT. So there's a lot of competition. You really can't get a job." I was like, "Do you really know what you're talking about?" I was like, "Okay, it's fine." So she said, "Oh, go ahead and do medicine because you'll be guaranteed to get a job, in this country of ours." I'm like, huh. Okay. So I ended up, when we were revising courses, I revised my course, yeah, and I added medicine somewhere in the first choice. So computer science ended up being my third choice. But deep down, I was like, this is what I want, yeah. I was like, "Oh, you know what? I feel like I'm an intelligent, I'm not really bragging here, but, I feel like I'm intelligent enough to do whatever course that I'll be called to do." So I had no problem with that. But funny thing, interestingly, I was actually called to do computer science, my third choice. I was like, you know what? God knew that this is where I belong. I was like, okay, there's no problem. Let's go ahead and do it. I didn't know anything about computer science. And I think when I was going to university, I thought we are going to learn, coding in the university. You are going to be taught how to learn to code, and we are going to be taught how to hack. You'll see people in movies and all those screens are like, this is what they are going to teach us. So I went to I was called to do computer science at the University of Nairobi, yeah, Chiromo campus. I did computer science. I met mathematics there. I was like, what is this? Yeah, but I was like, okay, you said you're smart enough to do anything that comes your way, Tabby, so it's fine. So let's go ahead with this. So yeah, we did computer science. But I think along the course of my course, I figured, like, most of the things that I really thought that I was going to learn in the university are not really happening. Because I could see we are mostly doing theory and mathematics and a lot of physics, and I'm like, what is really going on here? But luckily enough, there's one lady, Marcy. I think I really owe her a lot. Marcy came to our class one day and she said, "Oh, we have an event here for women. Yeah, women in tech." I was like, "Oh, okay." So one thing with me, I'm a very curious person. I always like to know what is going on, and I like showing up for things even though I don't know what they're for. So I went for this particular event, and there's one lady that came from Google. And when someone comes to speak to you, you get inspired, and you're like, wow, I really want to be like. I see that start, you start thinking towards your career, and you're like, oh, okay, so it's not really about what is taught in class. Because I was like, oh yeah, so these things are different. Like, this is the part that I'm learning in class, the computer science, but out here there's a whole different thing going on. So, and there are a lot of things that people learn. You learn how to code. There are different programming languages, yeah, because the only language we used to learn in school was C. At that point, I didn't like it. It was really stressful. I don't know if it's because the part that was teaching it, I don't know, but it was really stressful for me at that time. But anyhow, we still did it. We still passed, yeah. But then you see, what the moment I went to this particular event, my mind got opened up, and I realized, oh, there's a lot actually going on in the tech space, and it's not really the discrete mathematics you're learning or the physics you're learning in class studies. So you really need to open up your mind for this. So I think from then on, I started going for the events. They will happen every Wednesday, yeah. So I'll attend these events. I don't even know what is going on. Like, I like saying this a lot. I think there are times you'll go for a Firebase event, and I'm not understanding what is happening. Like, what is this? Yeah, people are installing this. So, I think the good thing is there are some events where you can follow through, like, oh, install this, install this. There's somebody that will come along and help you. But then a problem will come in when maybe something went wrong with what you're downloading or what you're installing, and people have already gone ahead. So they really can't wait for you. So you just end up not doing it. So I will stop midway and start doing my own thing. So I will go for this event here. But then most of the time I'll find myself not really completing the workshops. Yeah, I'll do my own things because maybe I got confused, or I really didn't know what was going on, so I just stopped. Yeah, but one thing what I did is I kept showing up. Yeah, I was like, you know what, one day I'm going to understand all these things. I'm going to get to understand what is happening here, what this language is. So I really didn't give myself too much pressure. I said I will get there soon. Yeah, so I really had that mindset, like, oh, you will understand this at some point. So there's no problem. There's time to learn. I was honestly in my first year, so I don't know why would I even pressure myself. So that went on. I kept going for events, and even the people that were in charge of the club were like, "Oh yeah, you really are good, in this whole events thing. And we think you could actually apply to be a DSC lead." I was like, "Oh, okay." I felt like I'm too young. I'm like, I'm still in my second year. I don't really have the technical skills, and I'm sure. And I was like, this program is by Google. I actually thought it was a club for the school. I was like, this is a program by Google, like Google, the only Google I knew. The only thing I knew about Google was that we only search things on Google. I didn't even know it's like a company that has programs for students who are in the university. Like, I didn't know, but I gave the opportunity a shot, and I got in. I expressed myself. How I like volunteering, giving back to the community. So like, in as much as I didn't really have the skills, I was like, I'm gonna learn along the way. So like, what that really worked for me, because okay, when I was chosen to become the lead, I was really not pressured, by the fact that, oh, Tabi, you don't really have strong technical skills, so there's no way you're going to pull this off. Yeah, but really didn't weigh me down. What I said, but I'm inviting people over to have events in my community. So as my community learns, I'm also going to learn. So if it's a new language, whatever it is, I don't know it, yeah, but I've called someone to come in and speak to us about it. So I will take the opportunity to learn, and even sometimes I will learn the thing even before the event starts, so that I understand what is going on. So that really, I think the period where I was a DSC lead, a lot of things really happened for me. I started growing my skills technically. I think I was now in my third year, and I was like, oh, so this is coding, yeah. So I just figured, oh, we're not really going to be taught how to code in class. Like, these people, they're not teaching us anything about coding here. So you really have to learn on your own, and that's how I started. Yeah, I think I started doing web on free code camp. I was like, I had people talking about Android and Gradle and everything. I was like, I don't want that stress. I don't like stress. So I said, let me just go ahead and do a web. So I started learning web development on free code camp. So I made it a habit, because I had consistency really matters. So I kept learning. When I finished this particular course, I will now go. I finished HTML, CSS. I knew HTML before, but that didn't really stop me. I didn't say, oh, I know, so I won't do it. I started again from the basics, HTML, CSS, and then I did JavaScript, and then the JavaScript course was really, really long. Like, I was like, and then people kept saying how JavaScript is really hard, and how it's complicated, and how it's very huge. But then one thing I really told myself, I was like, you know what, I'm not really going to get discouraged, because I told myself this is the path that I'm taking, yeah. And if I need to know JavaScript, yeah, to get into web development, then that's what I'm going to do. I didn't start in Python. I didn't start with Words. I started with JavaScript. So even if it's hard, I will still grab with it. So that's what I said. And one thing I always tell myself, at times when you're starting out in your tech journey, yeah, you feel like you're confused. There are a lot of things ahead of you. You don't really know, oh, do I do PHP? Do I do Python? I don't know. There's so many languages going around. So it gets really confusing for you. But one thing I usually say is, find one thing, yeah, and be good at that particular thing. So for me, I told myself, if it's JavaScript, then we are doing JavaScript. That's not because my friends are doing Python that I should start going doing Python. No. So just find one particular thing that you really want to do, and focus on it, so that you become good at it. Yeah, good at it, so that if someone has a question, they can actually reach out to you, and you can answer them very confidently. Yeah, and then when you master it, the moment you master one language, then it's not going to be hard to master other languages. So yeah, that's pretty much how uh, my technical background was when I was a DST lead. The whole learning thing with my community, and then going for more tech events. Like, this is what I really exposed myself to people. That's when you'll meet people, because I figured out it is through this tech event, yeah, that you get to learn many things that you didn't really know. Like, you could be your own space thinking, oh, this is the only way to go, so maybe let me learn this. But the moment you go out for this event, you'll meet someone who will say something interesting or something new that you didn't even know before, and then you'll be like, oh wow. So it's a learning opportunity for everyone. Okay, there are those who will go for, apart from the food, yeah, will go for this event for the food, because I do not understand what was being taught there. But I used to show up again, because I knew I'll meet somebody. When an event ends, you'll just have to meet somebody, and when you're talking, when you guys are networking, someone will say, "Oh, well, maybe you could start this. And it's always good to ask people questions, yeah, because maybe I want to start mobile development, or I want to start web development. Just find one person when you're networking, yeah, find one person that has done it before, and then ask them questions like, I'm starting out. What resources do you think I should get into, or what do you think I should do? Sometimes you feel you're stuck. Maybe you have things like imposter syndrome. You feel like, no, this is not really for me. No, this is not how I thought it was going to be. Do you get? So have that person that will always encourage you. And I think Wade previously mentioned, having a community of people. And I think this is what tech events gives you, because you get a sense of community. You get to meet people who have similar interests to you with yours, and maybe other than not really similar, but you get my point, yeah. So I was a DSC lead for 1 year, yeah, and I got all this exposure. I made sure I got really involved in so many things during this period, yeah, like going out, speaking in different places, stuff like that. And so like I finished, yeah, I finished being a DSC, and I was like, oh, what next for me? What am I really going to do? But the good thing is, because of my activities, what I was really doing when I was a DSC lead, I found myself helping organize GDG events. Yeah, so like they'll need somebody to do their event, and I'll volunteer because I like volunteering. So I'll go ahead and say, oh yeah, I will host this event. There's no problem. So that's how I started getting into GDG. And I'm now a, a co-organizer, yeah, co-organizer for GDG Nairobi at the moment. Yeah, so I was like, at least my journey just did not stop at DSC. I got now involved with GDG, and also at the same time, I remember in one event that I'd gone to, it's a GDG event, Deaf First Nairobi 2019. Yeah, I went for Deaf First Nairobi 2019. That was my first time going for a Deaf First, and I remember the Moringa guys there. I was like, oh, people were going there to talk about their campus branches, and I was like, oh, I've never had one for University of Nairobi. So I was like, you know what, I'm from the University of Nairobi, and I don't think I've had a Moringa community there. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. Then you could apply to become the lead for, you could represent us at your university. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I've done this before, so no problem. I applied, I got in. So I also became a campus ambassador for Moringa School. But we didn't really get to do much because all of a sudden COVID just came in 2020, and things were really bad. But yeah, so I became a DSC lead. I finished. I started helping out in GDG, helped out GDG, became a Moringa School campus ambassador. That's, I think, also, if you follow me, you'll see me retweeting stuff about Moringa School, or yeah, because that's part of what I do. So yeah, basically that's it. And then with all this happening, like, don't think I was not studying. I was doing all these things, yeah, but I was still my school, because I'm a student. I just recently finished my school, not exactly finished, but I finished the curriculum, yeah. So I think at some point, someone would say it was hard, trying to balance. But I think what's really helped me along my journeys, even when I was having a community, is having a core team that will help me, because you can't do something alone. I figured I could not do anything on my own, so I made sure I had a team of people that understand the community, and people that have almost the same interests and goals as I do. And that's how we managed to make things pull off for ourselves. And yeah, and then I finished school. No, I didn't finish school. When I was still, in the course of my school, I happened to meet, some friends of mine um from Nigeria. Yes. Yeah, I got to see a friend of mine from Nigeria. And then how people just ask questions like, what are you doing in school? What do you like to do? I was like, I'm still like, I was coding at that time. I was coding my project. I was trying to do my project, and the guy was like, you love coding. I was like, I'm trying, I'm learning. You know how it gets sometimes, you're not really sure if you really know this thing, or you're just trying. So I was like, I'm trying, but I think for me, at the end goal, I just want to do something that deals with people, because I felt like for a whole year, I've really interacted with the community a long time, and I feel like this is something I really wanted because I enjoy doing it. Yeah. I said, I think at the end of this, even though I'm going to code, I feel like my heart really wants me to go, the community way, not really the technical bit, the coding, and no. Maybe developer relations at the end. Do you get? So it's like, okay, that's fine. And then say, and I think after some time, after some few days, the guy reached out to me and said, "Oh, we would like you to join us." I was like, "Ha, me." I'm like, I was really scared, because for the longest time I'm used to doing things, for the community, being a lead for something, campus ambassador, doing this, Then I was like, you're asking me to join your company. Like, I've not even finished school. I didn't even know what I was going to do. I was really confused that day, but I was like, this is really exciting, and I felt like I really didn't have any experience, for what I was being called to do. I didn't know anything. I was like, okay, it's fine. There's no problem. I will join, because I was like, this is God. This is God that has really come through for me. I'm not even finished my school, and they've really reached out to me asking me to, be part of their company. I was like, oh, okay. So you're like, oh, because you have, so the role was about, you've been active in the tech community in Kenya. So I think this would be nice, being a technical sorcerer for Kenya, for helping getting talent for Kenya. So the company that I'm currently working with now is TalentQL. Yeah. So as a technical sourcer, basically at TalentQL, we vet candidates. Yeah, you join us, become part of our talent network. We vet you, and then we assign you to jobs that match your skills. Yeah, so there are companies and we have developers. Yeah, so I'm now in charge of the developers. The whole process, or assessing the developers, and then and at up to the point where you now get assigned to our job. So helping Africa, and this is it's not only the company is has Nigerians. It's not really Nigerian, but it has Nigerians. But it's a global company that is trying to solve this problem for Africans. You get, like, we are trying to help Africans get jobs in these companies. Companies that you never thought. And then the good thing with being part of TalentQL talent pool is that you'll get access to jobs that you won't see. Maybe these companies don't even advertise this job, so you wouldn't even hear of them. But the moment you're part of the talent pool network, then you have like access, like, oh, we'll just see a job opportunity that is presented to us. We're like, oh, this is a perfect match for this. And then that is how you get your job. So that's what we are trying to do. And I was like, when I look back at my journey, and I'm like, I think God has really come through for me, because along the way, the whole community thing, and this is what I'm getting to do now. I think I mentioned before, I think some people look at me and feel like I'm really a good software engineer. I don't really like to call myself a software engineer. I'm still learning. At some point I learn, I stop. You know how the process is. Sometimes you feel like you're doing it right. Sometimes you feel like you're not doing it right. So I've had those moments. Pausing here and there, and so I like to say I'm still figuring things out. I'm not really sure or what I really want to do, but I enjoy what I'm doing currently. I don't really have pressure. And one thing I've really taught myself along my journey is progress is always progress. Yeah. Like, no matter how small something looks, like you've done something for yourself, no matter how small it is, maybe there's a bigger picture, but you've only managed to go up a small step, that is still progress. That's progress towards that particular end goal. So that's something I've really taught myself. Do you get, like, progress always progress? And then I don't really compare myself with people. I look at my friends. Like, most of my friends have really accomplished big things. They have really done great. But I use that as a motivation, yeah, to always aspire to do more, to dream big, yeah. I don't really compare myself and feel like, oh, so and so is earning this, so and so is doing this, so I should also know. I don't like to put pressure on myself. I say, take things easy, one step at a time. You're still young, you still have a long way to go. So take it easy on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. So, and then I've also taught myself, done is better than perfect. If something is given for you to do, you don't really have to be perfect. Yeah. Some people feel like, oh, because I can't really do this thing well, then I'm not going to do it. But I say done is better than perfect. It's better to do it. Yeah. Do it. And to give you the experience that you need to know and actually get to that particular level that you want to get. So you don't really strive for perfection too much that will stop you from doing it. Because that's why I told myself, for this particular job, I don't know what to do, but I show up. I still show up, and I open up my mind to learn. Every day I learn different things, and I'm like, this whole period is for me to get experience, yeah, so that I can know what to do, can know exactly where my career is taking me to. So yeah, progress is always progress. Done is better than perfect. And also trying to battle imposter syndrome here and there. And I think that is pretty much about me and my journey. There's really there's really not much story, but that's it. And I'm really grateful for the far that I've come, and I don't have any regrets. I'm just grateful.
Yes. Thank you for that. Quote unquote, progress is progress, no matter how small. Done is better than nothing. That's from our host for today. So thank you so much for the brief, rather well elaborated.
Can you there?
Hello, my audible.
Yes, you're good.
Awesome. Yeah, so as I was saying, like you have really demystify some of the things that people out here, I mean, newbies rather, or people who are beginning, and then they're just in 2 weeks or 1 month into it, and they're like, oh man, this is not it. So I guess the secret here is keep on going. It does not matter where like you are right now. Those who are those who are gurus right now in the industry, once they were like you. So I have a few questions that I want to ask you, Tabitha. Well, now that you have said you're part of this amazing organization called TalentQL and you're outsourcing talent, so it's something to do about that. Well, recently in one of these tech communities, I just read like someone mentioned that the tech space, or rather in Kenya, is unorganized. I mean, there are people who have talent, yes, but it's kind of uh, disorganized in some sort of a way. So, as a person who is already in the field working to outsource talent, so what do you have to say about that situation? Apparently,
Please come up again. I didn't hear you quite well. Sorry.
okay, yeah. So I was saying recently, I was reading about an article in one of these state communities, and that person was actually trying to point out that the tech talent in Kenya is disorganized, and maybe there's something that should be done about it. So maybe there are people here in Kenya who are pretty much good at whatever they do, but because of this, can we say, lack of opportunities, or rather exposure to these opportunities, so they end up maybe in other things. Or so my question is, as talent QL, you're working from there, so what do you think, what is your opinion, what can be done to the tech space in Kenya, apparently in quotes disorganized?
Oh, okay. I don't really know much about the disorganized bit, but what I can say is I feel like we really have good talent. Yeah, we have people that do amazing things, but they are really low key. Do you get, like, we don't really we don't really get to know what they are doing. Yeah, because they are hidden. Do you get, like, I think even when I'm looking at our talent pool and I see we don't really have much talent from Kenya. Do you get? But you always see. I don't really want to compare. I don't really want to compare Kenya and Nigerians. But you guys know, when you compare the Nigerian tech space, those people are always active, even though they don't know anything. They're always talking about their skills. Yeah, and I think that is one thing we are doing well. Yeah, we are well on our way to get there. But I feel like people should find a voice for themselves. Like, you feel like you know a lot, like you really have good skills, but if you don't put yourself out there. I know this is difficult because we have people that will say they're introverts and they don't really, that don't really like coming out, but I feel like if you're good at something, it's good to point. You can start by even, showcasing it on Twitter or even in your community, like, because the moment you share what you can do with maybe members of your community or even on social media, people are going to see it. Yeah, people are going to recognize your talent. But imagine you're so good, you're so amazing, but we can't see it because you're just hidden. And that's one thing I always say. I've always thought about most of the developers that we have. I feel like we are just, we are still not. We don't really want to put ourselves out there, and that's one thing I like to say. Put yourself out there, even if it's a small project that you did. Yeah, and I think Wayne mentioned to you guys, like, I think he did something. He went there and even through his community event, and that is how he got his job. Like, people are always watching. You never know who's looking at your profile. You never know who's looking at your work. So, keep up. If it's your LinkedIn, update your LinkedIn with your skills or project that you've done before. And then people like us that are looking for this talent can now see, oh, okay, so we have so and so. Yeah, when I'm doing my search, at least I can see more people from Kenya. Do you get? So I feel like we should make an effort, yeah, to put ourselves there, don't hide your talents. Just don't sit there. How will the opportunity reach? We say that there's no opportunity, but sometimes you really have to go for this opportunity. And how do we go for this opportunity? Putting yourself in a position for you to be seen. I think that's the best way. Yeah. Putting yourself in a strategic position that this company or somebody can spot you and see, oh, this is actually amazing talent. Let me reach out to them. And that is how people get jobs. You can ask people that got jobs, people like Juma, people like, I know, like the job he's doing currently, he just posted, he was engaging on Twitter, and then someone just said, oh, okay, let me DM you for a job. And that's how he got his job. You see? And you might just be sitting and thinking, oh, you'll just find your job by presenting your CV to somebody. I think if you are in the tech space, people really want to see what you can do or things that you've done for yourself. So let your work speak for you. Yeah, you don't really have to be, talking too much. You can just, and one thing I like to do, if someone is an introvert, yeah, someone is afraid, you can always ask somebody. You can always find someone that is, not someone that is loud, but someone that can help you, like share your project or something like that. That is why I think when you follow up my tweets, I'll always be sharing things that somebody has done, so that to give voice to what other people that have done, so that they can be seen. Not everyone is going to see, but you never know who is watching, and they can, but yeah, I think you have a point. We really don't have, people are not really that active in showcasing their skill or what they have done, and yeah, you're right about that.
Wow, thank you so much about that. And my feel is also like I guess people like suffer from imposter syndrome. I being one of them, one at a time. So maybe you have done great things. I mean, you've developed something nice out here. Sorry, in your backyard or in your room, and you don't get that opportunity to put it online. And you see, it's a good thing, like you've said, to just go out there, shout, shout. You never know who is listening, and maybe there's someone out there looking for somebody like you who has done that little thing you think you're ignoring. So it's a good way of saying, get up, stand out, shout out. Maybe someone there is listening. Thank you so much for that, Tabitha. So I have, just to bring you to speed, I'll have this interesting question. Now that you are actually working for Talent QL, then there's something that here has been troubling a lot of people. Let me say also. So you find that in these most recent jobs, like entry level jobs, the ones that are posted maybe in LinkedIn or any other platform. So my question is, what's your opinion about companies that ask for, let's say, like I want an entry level developer in Android with 5 years experience or 3 years experience? Do you think companies should revamp the expectations? Because basically you find crazy expectations from these people who want to hire. So what do you think, as matter of fact, now that you are working with an organization who outsources talent? Yeah.
Yeah, I get your point. Henry, look at you pressuring me, and I just joined this company. Anyway, I get your point. And I think, like even said, it's ridiculous. Yeah, like imagine you asking for a junior developer and you asking for 5 years experience. Who does that? Like, I think there's a problem somewhere in their communication or something. Like it's outrageous. It's not really making sense. I mean, a junior dev, like someone that has maybe 1 to 2 years of experience, and then we have middle level that is 3 years, 3 years to four, then senior starts from 5 years, junior five and above. So I feel like yeah, you're right. Like companies should really, be intentional and be reasonable in how they actually put out the opportunities. Not me asking for someone that has 7 years of experience, and this person just really came out of campus the other day, or I think I saw another one, like someone internship, and they're asking you for experience. I'm here for the experience. Why are you asking me for my experience? And I'm here to actually get the experience. So, and I guess there are those that really are realistic. They really know what they're looking for, and they really know about the job market, and they know this is the level of experience for a junior developer or for a middle level or a senior. But I guess there are those that just, they're just ridiculous. They're just, I don't know what to say.
Thank you for that as well. Yeah. So now, on to my next question, and this is about something that we all probably have heard of it, and I want to know, like basically on behalf of the viewers. What's your opinion about work-life balance? You know, being a software developer, or being an engineer, or being whatever in this tech space. There's a lot of hurdles, I can say. So, what do you do to maintain a positive work-life balance, or life-work balance, whatever you call it?
Eh, that's a very good point there. I think we all can agree that developers really are not I don't they no one should crucify me, but I'm just saying from what I know, like people tend to think, or we developers tend to make us believe that they can't really focus on anything else apart from their work. But work life balance is very important, because like you've had, the moment you lose your job like this, eh, someone else will be replaced. It's not like everyone is now going to cry, oh, we have lost a very good person, oh, this, and then nothing will go on. The next day they'll find somebody. Maybe they even had someone to take up your place if anything happened. So I guess it's really important to cultivate a work life balance, and one thing I know that developers really suffer from is burnout. You could really be working, stressing a lot, and you get really exhausted. And I think I don't know if this really qualifies as burnout, but I remember, like I told you guys, there's this moment I really had a lot of energy. I was learning how to code a lot. Oh my good, free code camp website. I did like almost all the courses. I feel like it's only one that I did not finish. Yeah, I was just doing all of them, become like, I'm learning. Because the matter was like, the moment I do this, I'll become good. I'll have all the skills, blah blah blah. I just got to a point I was tired. I just could not go on. I could not even have the energy to go ahead and do another course. Like I don't know if that's a definition of burnout, but I know it's there. Like you really put a lot of energy, a lot of focus on your work. You forget about your life, and your life is really important. Like why? Sometimes this can actually bring health conditions to yourself. Sometimes maybe you're staring too much at your screen, or you're stressed about many things. You don't really give yourself break. And so I think it's very important, even when you're doing your work, give yourself breaks, meaningful breaks. Even if it's 1 hour, 2 hours. Just find a way, because it's healthy. And I'm sure if you're working somewhere for a person or a company, they will understand, yeah, that you can't really work all day long, like from morning to the next morning. No. So I think for me, when I was starting out, I felt like, oh, I'm always there, I want to do this, because I feel like, oh, they'll need me to do this, they'll need me to do this. But I think we had a conversation, yeah, and we are like, you know what, just give yourself rest. If you feel like you're really tired, if you feel like you really need to take a long nap, just go for it. Yeah, I think that's much better, going for that rest and then come back and be productive, instead of you forcing yourself to do something. You're focused on your screen, trying to do what maybe the bugs are not even getting solved, they're not getting fixed, they're still there, they're still staring at you. You're there, you've not eaten, you're not even thought about maybe meeting friends, yeah, or something. So just put it in yourself, to always give yourself breaks in between. Go out, meet people, talk to people, have conversations with human beings, and not just your laptop, or I don't know, your bags. Yeah, before you become crazy, or before you become sick. So yeah, just I think it's really important to give yourself breaks, and also go out there and meet people, and stop saying you're too busy for what. The day you will die, will you say you are too busy? No. So put your health first, man. Like really take care of yourself, because problems will never finish. Work will not end. Work will still be there. So just learn to be intentional, be disciplined. Yeah, I think you can really set out time. Okay, I'm going to work for 5 hours or 4 hours, and I'm going to take a 3 hour break or something of the sort. So just find something that will work for you, as long as you make sure you're resting, so that you end up being productive and not really overworking and not having any results.
Thank you so much, Tabitha, for bringing us up to speed with that. And I think we are doing well. You have actually answered my two questions that I was supposed to ask you about burnout and imposter syndrome. Yeah, I can tell you for sure that was burnout. I myself found myself in such a thing. With that being said, yeah, you fall in this. They so call it tutorial hell. You just feel like you're coding, and you find yourself you've done a lot, but you think you haven't done anything, and they call it a tutorial. So sometimes it's good to go out there, meet friends, talk to them, and it's good for you. So okay, so what is your take about mentorship? And are you currently mentoring anyone, or open to mentorship? You can also talk about finding a mentor, how for people who are beginning, let's say.
Oh, okay. So mentorship is not bad. Like, I was mentored before, so I wouldn't say anything bad about having a mentor. I think it's a very good thing to actually have a mentor for yourself. For in my second year, 2019, 2019. So yeah, 2019. I joined Kamilimu. I don't know if you guys know about Kamilimu, but it's a mentorship program for university students. Yeah, to complement, like the main goal of Kamilimu is to complement skills that will not be taught in school. Things like CV writing, things like how to conduct yourself professionally, things like imposter syndrome, things like working in a team, and also apart like mostly how to work around your soft skills and also maybe a technical skill at some point. But these are things that you not receive in school. So I was mentored for 8 months. Yeah. And I think that really went a long way because I think one of the pillars of Kamilimu is community engagement, and through that is what I figured this is where my strength lies in, and that is the path that I decided to take. Because they will take us out they will expose us to events and, go there, volunteer. And from there, I was like, this is something I really like doing. So mentorship is really good because part of who I am today, part of me being confident, being able to speak about imposter syndrome, me being able to speak about my journey and my accomplishments is because of the mentorship I received. Because I was at point where I used to celebrate my friends a lot, but when it comes to me, I don't even feel like I've done anything for myself. I don't feel like maybe something is good to somebody, but for me, I'm like, no, it's nothing. It's just ordinary, nothing. I don't feel like it's an achievement. But with time, slowly by slowly, what's what the importance of actually appreciating your wins. Yeah, as long as you didn't know how to do something before and you can do it now or you've done it, like that's a huge step. So that's a win. So no matter how small it is, it's still an achievement. So we were taught how to appreciate it. So yeah, mentorship is really important. I really learned a lot from it, and yeah, I'm open to I'd say I'm open to mentoring. Like I think one way I do mentor is by speaking. It's not really huge. This is me having imposter syndrome right now. It's not really huge, but my joy comes in the knowing that somebody has been helped, one way or another. Doesn't have to be 20 people, but if it's only one person, then that's okay. And that's something that really helped me out of the DSC did. I was not really going out for numbers. My major goal is, has someone really been changed by this, or has this really helped somebody? Even if it's one person, that you've made a difference in the community. So I don't mind. I think the problem with sometimes mentoring is some people will feel entitled to you. Now, if I said I'm going to mentor somebody, they don't feel entitled. Every day they want to be talking to you. They don't take in the fact that you have other things to do. You have other people to talk to, or you have other things going on. But I think for mentor, if you're looking for a mentor, just you want someone, be clear on what you really want. Be clear on what guidance you want. Yeah, this is for future. It will help you when you're looking for a mentor out there. So because people don't want to be bothered. The other people just are busy and they feel like, why is this one behaving this way? So make sure you are clear on what you really want. And then maybe if you guys want to meet, you're like, oh, can you always meet on this particular day or something of the sort? And not feeling entitled to that particular person because he or she is your mentor. So, just be disciplined, yeah, and be clear on what help you really want. Even when someone comes to me, oh, I need what? I'm like, what exactly do you need? Because I can't really figure out your problem. Yeah. So if it will only help if you come to me and be clear, Tabi, I need help in how to start my journey into web development, or I need help in imposter syndrome, or I need help in this. When you be specific, then it's going to be easier for me to help you. Do you get? So yeah.
Awesome. I think you hit a bull's eye right there. So on to my next one. So I feel like let me ask you this. What do you do to make sure that you remain relevant to your field? Let's say, especially right now, the way tech has been changing over and over. So what do you do as a developer, the talent sourcer, to remain relevant to your field?
Mm. So let me not say what I do. Let me just say what we need to do to be relevant. Because I'm still figuring out my tech side. I'm still figuring out my coding side. But I think one way for us to be relevant is the skills. Yeah, like if I am into web development and in particular React, yeah, I want to know, are there any new updates on React? Yeah. So one way you can know this is being in a community. Let's say you're in a React community. Like I think these are almost a community for everything. Yeah. If you're really intentional about finding one, you can find it. So maybe there's a React community. We have a React community actually. So Yeah, so just be part of a community. Someone will always share. Yeah, someone will tell you, oh, there's an update on this, or this is what is going on in this particular field. Yeah, and also saying on social media, like I think for me, I'm on Twitter, yes, and I think uh I only subscribe. This subscribe or I only choose tech content. So you'll see every time I'm on my timeline, I only see things about tech. Yeah, things that are related to tech. So someone will always be pointing out something new that has come up or what people are actually trying out at a particular point. So I think that's one way. Always stay on the lookout for the particular field that you're in or the thing that you're in. If it's data science, if it's Android development, be part of a group that is doing Android and check out to see updates. Or even if you're reading blog articles, you can find articles that are related to Android development and see what is going on. Because I think people are always updating content. People are always letting us know what's there. So you can't say information is not out there. Information is there. So you can stay relevant by knowing them, or if it's and also learning. If there's a new language and it's really aligned with your field, you can go ahead and learn it. So that if maybe somebody is looking for a particular skill, then you're not left out. You know how to work your way around it. So yeah, checking out for information and also taking the time to learn that particular skill if it's really relevant. Not just learning it and then it's going to help you in any way. Just so make sure it's something that is aligned to your field or you're aligned to your career.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think you're doing well. And for me, I have a question before I turn to the audience to see what they're asking. There's one last question, or rather, just a few but to mention. So, do you think like entry level developers in Kenya especially are underpaid? And what salary maybe should one expect, given the fact that they are entering into maybe the industry in Kenya?
So if I'm being honest, I don't really know. I don't I don't know. I'm not really I'm not
Thank you
really
for.
interact I'm not really interacting with anyone to let me know. Maybe I'll find out, but at the moment I don't really know because I can't say I'm doing a coding job. My job does not involve coding, so I'm not really sure. But I think one way for you to know so that you don't feel like you're underpaid, just find someone that is doing coding in the workspace, yeah, and ask them. You can ask them for advice. Sometimes you can check out. You feel like, oh, what's the salary range for this? Or yeah, I think the best thing is to find someone that is doing something similar to what you're doing, and like, oh, I got this job. Do you think this is the right range for me, or do you think this is what I should be paid? Or yeah, and most of the time, it's not really about the money; it's about the skills. So for you to actually get good pay, make sure you have good skills. Yeah, because your pay is directly proportional to your skill. Like you'll be paid for your value. Like what value are you bringing to the company? So if you're really good at what you're doing, I don't think there's a way you're going to be underpaid if you're unless you're just not being I don't know. Yeah. So make sure you have the skills. And I think people are just like the hype of, oh, I get 1 million per month or what. But if you check that person that is getting 1 million per month, they are really good at what they are doing. They are really good and some people are really looking out for them. So make sure you have the skills first. Then now you can now talk about having good pay and stuff like that. But find somebody that is doing something related to you and you can ask them for advice. For me, I can't give you now because I don't really know.
Thank you so much for being honest with me. So I think this is the last one maybe I can ask before I turn to the audience. And it's just a teaser. So like apart from tech, do you what do you love or what normally do you engage yourself in to maintain a positive mental health mindset? That is something I would love to know on my part as well.
Uh, what do I love doing? I oh my goodness, I don't know. I think I don't want to believe that my life revolves around tech, but it does. I can't lie because most of my friends are into tech, but I don't think we are really that nerdy. We always sometimes we go out. I enjoy eating good food, but because I'm broke, I don't have money, so sometimes it's not possible too much. But I enjoy going out with my friends. Yeah, eating, also going to church. Yeah, I love going to church because apart from hearing the word, I get to meet my friends also. So at least you're in a different environment. And for me, I think I'm just, I just love sometimes I like watching things that are really interesting and funny. I enjoy laughing a lot. So anything that is funny for me, I don't really have a particular thing that I love doing. I just do whatever really makes me happy. Do you get? So if at this particular point watching this movie will make me excited, then I will do it. If it's going to eat, I will do it. So just find something I really Henry, it's really hard, but I really enjoy interacting with people. Like for me, I'm not a person that hides in the room. I enjoy meeting people. So whatever we'll do with people, but please, not hikes. Hey, I'm not physically fit. Before you invite me for a hike, but I can try.
Well, that's quite a personality. I must agree. We move regardless,
you
but
know.
a hike is a must. Okay, just to dive into what people are asking. Those who have attended,
Okay.
there's someone. Yeah, there's someone who's asking. Uh, Skills you consider before allowing a junior dev to join your space. I think he's asking. Uh, Hello. Yeah, I think
Yes.
he's asking as a matter of fact regarding to where you're working right now in your company. Yeah, skills you consider before allowing a junior developer to join your space.
Oh. So we don't really ask you to have any skills to join. So I think basically you just need to sign up. Just go to TalentQL.Com, sign up. Um, there are different skills. There are different types of assessment. You choose for yourself your tech stack, what you really are good at, and then you'll be assessed. Yeah, and then when you pass, yeah. So I guess now when we fully vet you, like when you've gone through our whole assessment, yeah, like the fact assessment, second assessment, interviews, and you pass, then your skills will now be matched to an opportunity that we have currently. So yeah, 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 that's pretty much it. And I know that the whole junior thing is something because I know most companies like um, for what I've seen now, most companies are actually looking for middle level or senior guys, and we are working towards doing something for junior devs. Yeah, so that's because everyone starts from somewhere. Yeah? So we are working on that. That's something in progress. How to if we don't really have. There are those that actually ask for junior, so you don't really have to be to feel left out, but have something. We're looking towards having something that can accommodate everyone. So we don't really have any limitation at the moment. Being a talent pool, just get vetted. If you fail our test, you can always take up when you get the experience. So there's really not much pressure to it.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. So someone else is giving you a compliment, and they're saying it's Geoffrey saying, "Hi Tabitha, it's good to hear that even as an introvert, it is good to interact with other introverts, and this can only be done by say attending tech communities. I have attended many." And then we have another one from Enoch Kiplagat. He's asking you, what is the secret for beginners, people who are joining maybe tech? So what can you tell them?
Yeah, so what I can tell you is figure out what you want to do first. Yeah. So if you want to go into web development, you want to go into Android, you want to, like I mentioned before, it's easy for you to get confused, yeah, because at one point people are talking about Kotlin, Java, at one point people are talking about Python, so figure out first what you want to do. You want to venture into mobile development, you want to go into data science, do you want to go into web? And then now when you figure out what you really want to do, then now learn. So what does this field entail? If it's web, what programming languages do I need to learn? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, at least have something so that you know where you're going to start from. Yeah. So like for me, I told you, like I need web. So I started HTML, CSS, and then when I finished and I was like, this is good for me. Then you go to JavaScript because you need to know this thing. So find out the field that you really want to venture in, then figure out what languages do you need to learn for you to remain relevant in a particular field. Yeah. And then you learn them, and then you can start doing personal projects. And I think free code camp is really a good way for you to learn as a web developer, yeah, because they give you small projects that you can work on as part of assessment. So yeah, I'd say, yeah, don't really get confused. Just find one thing that you really want to do, one path for yourself, and then start on it, do a lot of research. Yeah, just don't mix up, following the crowd. Just do what works for you. Yeah. Not because someone is doing 100 and they're getting too much money now you want to go there. Like, I think it all boils down to your interest. Yeah. Figure out what exactly is your interest. Yeah. And then I'll do research. Yeah. This is what I need to know, is what I need to know. And then now when you start learning, find somebody, find a community. Yeah, people that are having the same thing, people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. Yeah, and then you can learn from there. There are people that will always be sharing resources in our community, things that you didn't even know about. Yeah, attend events. Yeah, get exposed. Yeah, because you might think you know things, but maybe you don't even know. So attend things, show up, even if you don't know what is going on, just show up. Yeah, by talking to somebody here and there, you can get the guidance that you actually need and help. So that's really what worked for me, and yeah, I hope that helps.
Well, my take is that has really answered him and probably gotten to engage with that as well. Yeah, so do you see yourself transitioning in any role anytime soon? Let's say in a period of maybe 10 or 5 years from now, do you see yourself transitioning in maybe another role?
So like I said, I'm still figuring things out, and I like to say I'm open-minded. So whatever comes my way and it's something I feel I can do, so I'll be up for it. So I don't know. For now, I'm still learning. I'm just fresh from the university. I've not even graduated. Yeah. So yeah, I'm open to things. I'm still figuring it out. So maybe I said maybe coding not really for me because I like telling people that coding not really my thing. But maybe I'll do a software engineering role at some point. So you never really know. So don't really limit yourself. Don't say, oh, me, I'll code for life. Maybe you'll get another opportunity that will be really interesting for you and you'll go with it. So have an open mind for yourself. Yeah, be open minded, and you never know what really comes for it. So if you have the skills for something, just go for it. It's good to learn. Yeah, we are still here. We are young people. We are open to learning this thing, doing this, doing that. Someone told me you're in your 20s, so you still have time to figure things out before you actually settle for one particular thing. Because even maybe people that are senior in something, they're not even maybe in what they are meant to do. Yeah, so maybe they're still on their journey to what they're actually meant to do. So yeah, I'm teaching myself to have that mindset, not just being comfortable in one position.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, for being so honest. And I feel like most of the questions that maybe I didn't ask, you already answered it along the way. And for me, this has been very exclusive, very engaging as well. Yeah, very inspiring for some people. I would have gone and read all the comments, but I guess because of time, we should be
Someone is
winding up.
someone is
Yeah,
asking what
but
is the first project I did.
pardon?
Someone is asking what is the first project I did. First
Yeah,
project
oh,
I did. I
yeah,
think I think the first project I did was my second year project, because in the University of Nairobi you get we do projects in your second year and in your fourth year. Like I told you, in my first year, second year, I didn't know anything about coding. I didn't even know about languages. I didn't know. I felt like they're going to teach us. So and then boom, they're telling us we need to do a project and you need to pass it because it's a course. Thank God you always have those guys that know things in your class, yeah, those guys that will help you. So that's what I came to know about PHP, and everyone was trying to do things in PHP. I think at least they gave us a basis of PHP, how to create forms. So I think the first language was PHP, of course, and of course, apart from HTML and CSS was PHP. We were told how to, connect databases using PHP. So my project was about visitor gate persistent. I didn't really know much about. I just told, oh, you can try and do this project because I was inspired to do it because I used to go to visit my aunt, and then they'll take my ID, yeah, or they'll have me call, my aunt. So the whole process of being allowed to get somewhere was really hectic, and I'm like, why not have oh yeah, they'll write my name on the book, yeah, and then this is so manual, so why not have an automated way of doing this? They can have the records, stuff like that. So my project was inspired by that. I tried doing it using PHP. I didn't really know about it, so I used to learn along the way, yeah, how to do connections. So just go and Google how do you do this, how do you do this, and I don't know. I did something. That's my first one. PHP. Yeah, that's pretty. The others were now those projects in free code camp. Yeah, yeah. And then my fourth year project. Yeah, I remember telling Henry about it. But yeah, we thank God. We thank God so far. So yeah, don't think about been coding. I've been coding. I just don't like speaking too much about it because I feel I'm not confident. I feel like I'm not really good at it, and people feel like I'm good at it. Yeah, I'm still battling imposter syndrome. I'm going to be speaking about imposter syndrome after this, but I'm still battling it. That's how life goes.
Wow. It's really inspiring. Oh, somebody has just asked, do you enjoy reading? If so, which book are you reading? Oh my God, that she has to answer.
Oh my goodness. I don't like for me, and I don't really put a rank on things. I can't say this is my favorite word. I don't know. So at a point I used to think I used to love reading because I used to read Wattpad novels. When you're in high school, you don't have a lot of pressure. I used to read Wattpad novels. Then I got busy and then I stopped reading. Yeah. And there's a book that I'm supposed to read. I don't know why you've asked me this question because the person that gave me the book is Henry and he's going to kill me if he finds out I've not started the book. But I've been thinking about it and I'm going to read it. Henry, what's the name of the book? Henry?
Oh my God, oh my God, I have sent you a lot of books. I don't remember.
No, the recent one, the one that you just shared with me about yourself.
I think it's called Peak, Peak. Peak. It's about how you can transform yourself into a complex thinker. Yeah, so you can challenge yourself into being this intelligent, emotional intelligent. What can I say? It revolves around growing yourself in your mindset and how you see issues. Design thinking, such stuff. So it's a very good. I recommend that book to you and anyone who is interested to read about it. It's called Peak, Peak. Yeah. So thank you so much, Tabitha, for coming through. I'm really grateful, and I want to say that this won't be the last time for you. So be sure that we're going to invite you once again here, and for that, I'd love to call upon my colleague Theo. I believe he's somewhere who is going to wind up for us and maybe take us through the last bits of the event. So, Theo, kindly, can you join us? Yeah, there he is. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Henry, and thanks to Tabitha for sharing her story. Although she's saying she's still battling imposter syndrome, it's inspiring. Okay, so for the audience or for those who are watching, as you have heard, I think mostly about everything revolves in the tech communities. So, find one for the newbies. There have been a lot who have been asking, like, what do you find in tech community? So, currently, most of them are virtual, so you can follow them on Twitter, and they are hosting events mostly. So, join one, follow them, and you will learn a lot. And for those who want a more session on imposter syndrome, Tabitha will be having a session after this on 4 p.m. and I've shared the link on the comment section. And also those who will be interested in introduction to Android by Android 254 and BSc More University, I've shared the link also. I can see we still have a question by Geoffrey. So, do you have any recommendation for attendees? I'm not sure.
I don't get the question.
Maybe I didn't get the question. So, I'm not sure if you will ask or we will just for next time. Maybe we'll keep it for next time.
You can always ask me on Twitter. My Tabitha Kavyu. You can find me there and ask me there. So
Yeah,
my
yeah,
DM,
yeah.
I'm not yet famous, so my DM is okay.
Okay, okay. So, thank you, Tabitha, for joining us and sharing us your story. And
I see Henry has
thanks
said
to
something. I was talking about, don't you
Yeah,
think
yeah. I
technology?
think Geoffrey is saying maybe recommendations of the book, perhaps. I,
Oh,
yeah. I'll just type over the YouTube
yeah,
section comment.
yeah. I like Henry's comment. Like, don't you think technology can change Africa? I think this is obvious that we know technology is going to change Africa. And one thing I didn't mention before is, you might get into tech and you feel like you want to code. My friend, if it's not working for you, just don't force yourself. Do you get? So like there are many things you can do in tech. That we have designers, yeah, people who are doing really well and they are earning well. So you can. There's so many things. Yeah, just got to find out what you really want to do for yourself in tech. So at times you don't really have to confine ourselves or limit ourselves to only coding. There are different fields. Yeah. So just find what really works for you. Maybe a designer, product manager, project manager. There are different things. So and yeah, I don't know, machine learning. Machine learning is still coding. Oh, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we don't have any other questions, so I think we can end there. And for the audience, check us on Twitter and all our social media handles, and maybe you can share and watch us for the next guest. And Tabitha, thank you. Thanks to all attendees and the co-host. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye. Bye.